There was this Muslim spiritual poet that said, "You are your own veil. Remove it, and then you will see reality." And then the Quran comes and says, "They have hearts, but they do not understand. Eyes, but they do not see." Now listen, the problem isn't that your dua is not working. The problem is that you're trying to manifest from behind a veil of neediness, a veil of anxiety, a veil of chasing things that you were never meant to chase. And until you remove that veil, you're going to keep doing it backwards, because Allah told you exactly how to properly manifest, but all of us are doing it backwards. So in this video, I'll show you exactly how Allah told you to receive what's already written for you, and why none of it can reach you until your inner state is finally ready to let it in. This is what we're going to be talking about in this video. Now listen, today's video is a bit deep, it's a bit heavy, but I guarantee this right here is going to be one of the best manifestation videos you've ever seen your whole life. I hate this word, first of all, the word manifestation, but whether you're a Muslim or non-Muslim, I guarantee you this is going to be one of the best videos you'll ever see, because it's finally going to unlock something in your brain. That being said, let's start. So first of all, understand that the delay is not in the divine about why your dua or the thing that you want coming, why it's not coming. It's not because of the divine. The delay is in the density of your heart. So imagine this, okay? Rain is falling, right? Mercy is coming down, but your cup is covered. So the water, the rain is coming down, which is the mercy, is not late. You're just blocking the rain. That's really what's happening with you. And that's the veil. It's not a curse. It's not bad luck. It's just misalignment. Most people are just like, bro, I think I have bad luck. Bad things keep coming to me, and then I can never really get what I want. But the thing is that the mercy of Allah is always here. It's literally always showering upon every single creature on earth. But you're the one that's blocking it. You're the one that's having a veil over yourself that's blocking this mercy from coming to your life. Now in Islamic spirituality, we don't say you must run towards your blessings. We say become still and then let them come to you. That's why Abdul Qadir Jilani, he says, your sustenance seeks you more than you seek it, but it will not walk into a house full of fear. So you're praying, right? But in reality, you're praying, but you're tense. You're doing the dhikr, but you're really desperate. You're reading the Quran, but in your heart, you're like, you've decided that Allah is already late in whatever thing that you're trying to get. Now, this is the spiritual contradiction that repels what is meant for you. So it's like your dua is saying yes, but your energy is like no. But your words are like, I trust, and your nervous system is still begging. You're saying, I trust Allah. I get messages from people, they're like, bro, I'm trusting Allah all the time, but things still don't happen. You say you trust Allah, but your nervous system is still in a state of begging. Ibn Arabi, he said, he's like, the real is never absent. The one who is absent is you, from your own awareness of Him. And so this absence is the veil. You veil yourself with the worry about how things will happen. You veil yourself with the fear that it won't come. And then you veil yourself with the attachment on when will it come. So you're making dua for your spouse or for money and all that stuff, but you're so attached about when it's going to come or how it's going to come, or maybe it just won't come. But this is why the Quran says, once again, they have hearts, but they do not understand. Indeed, it is not the eyes that are blind, but the hearts inside the chest that are blind. Blind to what exactly? Blind to the fact that you're not the beggar. You're the servant of the one who already wrote your provision. So what do? Really? You stop looking outward and you begin purifying inward. You stop chasing things from lack and you start receiving from presence. You stop praying for the thing and you start praying to become the vessel that can carry it without collapsing into the ego. And that's why Hafiz or Hafiz, in Arabic his name is Hafiz, but he says, I have learned every heart gets what it prays for most. Now the key word is heart. So the secret is the prayer Allah responds to is not the one on your lips. It's not the one that you're saying with your hands. It's the one that's written in your emotional state, in the heart. So if your emotional state is like, I don't have it, I need it to be, like I need to get that thing so I can finally be okay. I need to make the money so I can relax. I need to have the wife so I can feel love. Then your dua is rejection. It's not really accepted. And the one who gave you everything waits until you're ready to carry what's already yours, until you are actually ready emotionally, energetically, at the heart level. How do you do that? In silence, in surrender, and in stillness. Because what most people don't realize is this: you don't manifest by chasing the dunya. Stop thinking that you gotta manifest by chasing the dunya. You manifest by entering heaven first. And then until you understand what heaven actually is, you'll keep doing it backwards. So here is the part where I'm gonna need you to open up your mind a bit. Because the last time I talked about this, I kept getting all these, I don't know what to call them, but a part of the Muslim world started attacking me. They're like, bro, what are you talking about? So I just want you to open up your mind and listen from the heart. Don't listen from the mind. Don't listen with logic, maybe. Don't listen with reason, but from a state of love, from a state that's just coming from the heart. Because Allah, the way you go to Allah is not through the mind, by the way. The mind is just to like tell you, like, does God exist? Yes, logically He does. How do I reach Him? Through the heart. So once again, breathe, and then let's continue. Now, you've heard Jannah is gardens, rivers, and silk, right? Well, that is true, but those are just mirrors. They're reflections of something deeper, something that you can actually touch right now. Only if you're willing to die before you die. There's a bottle that I just touched. Because heaven is not for the body. Heaven truly is for the heart. And your heart was never blocked by the world, it was blocked by you. Keep listening. When the self dies, there's a beautiful quote that says, when the self dies, the beloved appears. And that's what it means when we say die before you die. When the self dies, the beloved appears. So long as your heart is crowded with desires, you cannot see what was always there. Now Shams Tabrizi, he says, don't seek heaven in the sky. Seek the moment you no longer need anything. Not because you gave up on the world, but because you remembered the one who owns it. That moment you stop asking for your dua to be answered because you realize you already have Him. That is what heaven truly is. That's the real Jannah. When your heart bows so low in stillness that the dunya starts orbiting you. This is some beautiful stuff, by the way. Ibn Arabi, he said, he's like, heaven is not a place in time or space. Heaven is the unveiling of nearness. And nearness is not something you earn. It is something you awaken into when you leave the self behind. Listen, I'm giving you literally like the secret for manifestation, the secret that none of these people, the secret, with the book literally called The Secret, the Napoleon Hill, any of these people, they never knew this stuff. This stuff is like super high level that only like the spiritual Muslims that got deep into gnosis, that got deep into connecting with the divine, they are the ones that understood this. And now you're being handed this. So if you want heaven, don't be looking up, don't be looking out, don't be looking forward, look within. Ask yourself honestly, is there anywhere in my heart where I still resist what Allah chose for me? Where I still think I need something besides Him to be at peace? Because if so, you're not in heaven. But you're still standing outside the garden, outside the heaven, you're knocking, but you haven't dropped what's in your hands, your desires, so that you can open the door. Drop what's in your hands so you can open the door. Now, heaven is not something you earn. Heaven is what rushes towards you the moment you stop insisting on carrying your false self with you. And when you let it fall, when you fall, you land in Him. And everything you ever asked for was already there, waiting in the stillness where only Allah remains. That's the beauty. Now what I'm telling you here, some people usually come there like, bro, are you telling me that heaven doesn't really exist? You're telling me heaven is just a state of being. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if you had a choice between going to Jannah, okay, or being with the divine, what would be the better choice? If you said being in Jannah, the only reason you said that is because you don't know who the divine is. But when you're with the divine, that is Jannah in of itself. That is heaven in of itself. So what I'm telling you right now is that you can reach the state here. You don't have to die, wait for the day of judgment, and then go to heaven, and then reach that state. I'm telling you, you can reach the state here. How? Allah Himself says He's closer to you than your jugular vein. Allah Himself says that His mercy encompasses everything. Allah Himself says that with the remembrance of Allah, hearts find ease, find rest, which means that you can access this remembrance of the divine at any given moment within this world that you're living in right now. Now here's the thing. Allah designed reality in a sacred order. It was never chase dunya and then feel peace. No, it was always find peace and dunya follows you. But what most people do, they chase the job, they chase the marriage, they chase the money, thinking that once they get it, they'll finally feel this peace. They'll finally feel safe, calm. Oh, now I can feel abundant finally. But that's the greatest illusion. This is literally going, like, this is the backward path. This is the path where you run towards the mirage, while the real water was always behind you. Now the Quran warns us. It says, whoever desires the life of this world and its adornments, we shall repay them for their deeds in here, within this world. And they will not be wronged, but those are the ones for whom there is nothing in the hereafter but the fire. Why is that? Well, you can chase dunya, you might even catch it, but dunya itself is going to burn you. Because you'll have reversed the sacred order that the divine himself puts. You made the outer world your God, instead of Allah being your God. You made success the measure of your heart. You made ease the condition for gratitude. Meaning, you're like, I have to wait to receive, then I can be grateful. And the one who worships dunya is sentenced to be forever thirsty in the desert of his own soul. So the Prophet ﷺ, he warns us, he was like, this world is a prison for the believer and a paradise for the disbeliever. Now, prison doesn't mean, because you're going to be suffering and all that stuff. Usually people, that's how they interpret this. Prison, because the believer is not here to chase the shadow. We're not here to chase the world of form. This dunya, we're not here to chase it. The believer is here to guard the secret inside the heart, which says that peace is not found, peace is brought forth, which means peace is already here. And you need to learn how to bring peace out. Abdul Qadir Jilani, he says, when you turn towards Allah, the world will turn to you like a humbled servant. But when you turn toward the world, it will treat you like a master treats a slave, commanding you, humiliating you, and never satisfying you. This is the law that you can't really cheat. If you chase dunya, you will lose both dunya and the akhirah. If you chase Allah, dunya becomes your tool and not your master. So if you're tired of suffering, bro, if you're tired of asking and then you're seeing no results, it's because you're still trying to manifest from the earth up instead of from heaven down. You're still trying to pull blessings into a heart that's heavy with expectation, heavy with fear and demand. But heaven doesn't enter a house that's full of noise. Heaven doesn't enter a house that's full of fear. Heaven descends into stillness. So if you want your dua to be answered, if you want to really shift your reality, then you must stop trying to pull peace out of dunya and start pulling dunya from the peace inside you. Because the real miracle is not that the world is going to start changing, but the real miracle is that you will no longer need the world to change. And what's so funny is that that's exactly when the world will change. Do you see what I'm saying? What I'm saying here is that, by the way, this is all, I might actually start writing a book, to be honest, because I don't know, because I've been writing a lot, so I might actually start writing a book. What I'm saying here, Habibi, is that you find peace first. How do you find peace? By entering Jannah frequency. By entering Jannah right now. How do you enter Jannah right now? By connecting with the divine. Most people think if I connect with the divine, I'm going to be tested. But no, because when you're really connected to the divine, even the pain feels like love. Even the pain feels like it's coming from mercy. So there is no pain. This is when there's no more duality. When you're in unity, there is no more duality. There is no more good or bad. No more pain or like the opposite of pain. I don't even comfort, whatever it is. No more of that. It's just oneness. Because now you've dissolved everything, and now you're just back to oneness. And that is the true heaven. Why do you think the greatest joy we'll ever feel is not really tasting the fruits of heaven? The greatest joy is seeing the face of Allah. That's the greatest joy that every single human is going to experience. So what I'm telling you right now is that when you're finally connected to the divine, then you're playing this formula not backward, then you're playing it proper. And so as a result, when you're doing it like that, you'll notice that this world of form, this world of matter, the world of shadows, dunya, this is going to start coming to you because this is a creation of Allah. So when this creation sees that there's no more like duality within you, there's no more ego, there's no more this, then it sees almost like when you're mirroring the divine, it sees the qualities of the divine and it runs towards that. This is extremely, extremely powerful. So you understand now You don't chase what you want, you become the version of yourself who already holds it. And that version lives in heaven. But the question everyone asks, they're like, how do I actually get into that? Like, not conceptually, not through these poetries, but viscerally, properly. How do you walk yourself into that state where everything begins to unlock? So here's how you do it. Now, step number 1 is empty your heart of the outcome. That's the first thing. You really want to enter heaven? Well, you must release your claim on how things should be unfolding. So surrender. Let your heart say, Ya Allah, whatever you choose, I accept. Even if it doesn't work like the way I wanted it, I know you never withhold. Your opinion of Allah is good. So you cannot receive what is written for you while gripping the scripts that you wrote for yourself. You can't be doing that. Then step number 2, replace asking with witnessing. What that means is that real dua is not always verbal. Sometimes it's just the stillness of your soul saying, I trust you, and I wait. Now Abdul Qadir al-Jilani, he says, silence in the heart is the greatest dhikr. It is there when Allah starts pouring His secrets. So talk less, beg less, and then feel more and start listening deeper. Because the dua Allah answers is often not the one on your tongue, but the one that you never needed to say. It's really the one that you feel. And then step number 3, enter the frequency of gratitude before the thing arrives. So gratitude is not a reaction, it's a magnet. Stop thinking that gratitude, I'm only going to start feeling grateful when I receive something. No, it's not a reaction. It truly is a magnet. Now the Quran says, once again, if you're grateful, I will surely increase you. Not if you receive and then be grateful, but be grateful first and then receive, which means right now, before anything changes, close your eyes and thank Allah like everything is already done. Because in reality, it is. When you're connected with Allah, you don't need anything else. Because the things that you want, they're all creation of who? The one that you're already with. And then step number 4, calm your nervous system to match your tawakkul. So if your nervous system is still in panic, then you have not entered tawakkul yet. Which means you can say it all you want, but heaven doesn't open for a heart vibrating in contradiction. So you regulate yourself through breath. Focus on the breath. Be aware of what's happening in the breath. That way you kind of relax your nervous system. Do dhikr. Remember the divine. You can say the divine names. Literally, you can say the divine names for as long as you want. And then through sujood, without asking for anything. Stay in sujood for as long as you want. You don't always have to be in sujood only when you want to ask something, and then through presence with what is, without running from it. As Hafiz says, I have learned every heart gets what it prays for most. And your nervous system is always praying, even when your mouth is quiet. So learn how to regulate that. And then step number 4, let go and let Allah prove He was always enough. Allah is always enough, but now you'll get to really witness it from the heart. You'll know that you really don't really need anything else except Allah. Now the last step is the most beautiful because it's not something that you do, it's something that you allow. It's something that you surrender in. Let go of trying to be good enough, trying to deserve it, trying to control it. You don't receive because you're worthy. You receive because He is generous. Similar to entering Jannah. You don't go to Jannah because of your deeds and that now you're worthy of entering Jannah. That's not why people enter Jannah. We enter Jannah because He's merciful. We're entering because of His mercy. And then when you finally stop resisting, not because you gave up, but because you gave in, heaven starts descending. And then with it, all that was written for you. Which means that everything that you ever asked for, the material things, you'll just start receiving it. Now if you're still asking, how do I manifest what I want? The answer is simple. You don't. You surrender, you align, and you clear the veil from your heart. And then what's already written begins to arrive, not because you start chasing it, but because you finally became still enough to receive it. You have to become still, that's the key word, still enough to receive it. This is how Allah told you to manifest, and this is what you've been doing backwards. We've all been doing this backwards. So now, what you need to be doing, return to stillness, return to Allah, and let what's yours find you. This is the beauty. By the way, let me tell you something real quick before I end the video. Allah already wrote everything beautiful for you. Everything. You already know that, right? Like you already know that your rizq is written, your spouse is written, your food is written, everything is written. Now if it's written, who's the one that wrote it? The same one that created the heavens and the earth. The same one that made the sea huge. The same one that created all these mountains. The same one that made the sky look so beautiful. Which means, if you're seeing the proof, like the creation of Allah is proof enough that the Creator is so beautiful. So now if you're seeing this creation, it's all looking so beautiful, that means, do you really need to worry about your rizq becoming low, becoming small? What I'm trying to say is that your rizq is not small. It's not small at all. The same one that made that is the same one that wrote your rizq. Which means if you're thinking, man, am I only, like let's just say a number, whatever number, $1 million? No, it's way more than that. Way more than your heart can ever imagine. So stop thinking small. Stop thinking, but I don't want to I want to live the life that I want to live. I want to have the specific person that I want. I want to have the specific number that I want, the specific car that I want. What you want is little. Well, what Allah's going to be giving you is way more than you can ever imagine. So that's what I'm telling you right now. This is why this video is so powerful. You guys think that in order to manifest, you got to start having something specific. You got to start having the feeling of the thing, really like the specific thing. No. The whole point is that you're putting a veil in front of you. When you remove this veil, all the beauty comes out. And also stop thinking that when you are close to Allah, you'll get tested. Most people think, when I get closer to Allah, I'll get tested. And then Allah's going to take away my money. Allah's going to take away my thing. Listen, if you're really close to Allah, and these things truly happen, you won't even flinch. If you're really close to Allah. The only reason why these things are happening is because you're not close to Allah. You say you are, but you're not. You say I'm a Muslim, but you're not. Like you say I believe, you say you're a mu'min actually, but you're not. You're not. You haven't reached that level yet. That's what I'm trying to say. So again, Allah told you exactly how to manifest, but you've been doing it backwards. Hopefully, inshallah, this video cleared it up a lot for you. Now, if you're interested, there's a link in the description about something very beautiful that I prepared for you that will teach you more on how to unlock these divine secrets from the Quran so you can achieve more and more rizq that's already here, by the way. Your rizq is already here. The only reason why you don't see it is because you're misaligned. And then when you finally align, you'll get to see all of it unfolding. So watch that video in the description. But if this video was helpful, just let me know, man.